States as disruptions continue.
Some of those Americans trapped in Mexico are Coachella Valley locals, and tonight they're sharing their firsthand accounts of this developing situation. Our Brett Rosen spoke with them. He joins us live in studio tonight with their stories for us. Brett?
Olivia, it was supposed to be a boys' trip. That's what one local told me, as he is currently hunkered down in his hotel room. Now, instead of wishing for one more day in paradise, he's just making sure his flights back home are ready to go. Puerto Vallarta is supposed to be paradise on earth, but since the recent capture and death of the Mexican cartel leader known as El Mencho, the once bright sun is now covered with smoke from buildings and cars catching on fire, and the quiet scenery has been overshadowed by the sound of helicopters flying around as the cartel has wreaked havoc in the city.
Not far from the main highway in Puerto Vallarta, and off to the right where I thought was a brush fire, it now became very clear that this was actually a bus that had been thankfully evacuated, but the bus was completely engulfed in flames. And then we started realizing something very serious was up.
Palm Springs local Randy Bissett arrived in Puerto Vallarta last week for what he calls a boys' trip, and said it was all running smoothly until the cartel attacks on Sunday. Bissett says he's never feared for his life, but more than once was scared he and his friends would be harmed in the crossfire.
At one point, I thought, okay, how severe is this going to get? Are they going to take over these buildings? Are they going to really play havoc with the city? I didn't feel like I was going to be executed with guns, but I did fear for my safety.
By Sunday evening, most grocery stores and restaurants closed down during the attacks, leaving many visitors without a way to get food. And even with stores opening back up today, lines are now out the door. Another Coachella Valley local caught in between the conflict is Wesley Uri, who says half the year he calls Puerto Vallarta home.
All flights have been canceled today, so it's scary, but you know we know the resiliency of this country and these people, and they're we live here, and these are friends and family of ours.
Now, Wesley Uri is not slated to fly back to the States until later this year. But as for Randy Bissett, he says as of right now, his flights are still on track to take off tomorrow afternoon. As the story develops, we will continue to update on our website, NBCPalmSprings.com. Live in studio, I'm Brett Rosen, NBC Palm Springs.
Brett, thank you for that. Turning to a local alert this evening, authorities need your help tonight to find a missing person. According to the Riverside County Sheriff's Department, 41-year-old Jeremy Wizenan was last seen at an unknown location in Blythe at about 10:30 p.m. back on February 10th. He was driving towards the Grand Canyon in Arizona. He's 5'10", weighs about 175 pounds. He has brown hair and hazel eyes. He also has a tattoo of a guitar on his left forearm and the number 88 on his left shoulder. It was not known what he was last wearing when he was last seen. Anyone with information on his whereabouts is encouraged to contact the number right there at the bottom part of your screen.
Today marked Coachella Mayor Stephen Hernandez's second court hearing for his trial readiness conference since his indictment back in October of 2025 on 9 criminal counts of perjury and conflict of interest. However, his attorney, Alexander Louder, pushed the trial readiness conference back to March 24th. We attempted to obtain a comment from Louder after the hearing, but none were available. Hernandez faces 1 felony count of conflict of interest, 4 felony counts of perjury, all to which he has pled not guilty. Since his first court appearance, the Coachella mayor has made few public appearances during some city council meetings, including at the appointment of the new mayor pro tem of Coachella, Frank Figueroa. If Hernandez is found guilty of the charges he's facing, he will lose the ability to hold any public office role and may face more than 7 years in prison.
A Salton City man accused in the murder of 17-year-old Tania Tovar made his second court appearance today, but that preliminary hearing was delayed. Our Tommy Gallegos tonight with the story.
51-year-old Abraham Feinblum appeared before a judge for the second time since his arrest on February 13th. 1 week after pleading not guilty to a murder charge with a firearm enhancement in relation to the Tania Tovar case. His preliminary hearing was expected to move the case forward, but the court granted a continuance after Feinblum obtained new legal counsel. He will now be represented by criminal defense attorney Melanie Rowe, the same attorney that defended Feinblum's case. back in 2019 when he was charged with child kidnapping. Those charges have been dropped since. Inside the courtroom, Tania's father sat just feet away from the man accused in his daughter's death, seeing the suspect in person for the first time. Following the hearing, we spoke with Tania's father, who said being there was incredibly difficult but necessary.
You know, I lost the best thing, one of the best things, because it's not my only child, it's my first child. But the next best thing right now in this situation is to make sure that this gentleman, I don't know if you want to even call him that, but you know, he served his time for this, and hopefully, you know, and save more lives.
17-year-old Tania Tovar was reported missing back on December 1st, and the investigation took a tragic turn on February 11th when authorities confirmed they had found some of the teen's remains less than a mile away from Feinblum's home in Salton City. Tania's family had identified Feinblum as a potential suspect after they found out she was planning to meet with him days before she went missing. After multiple search warrants, Feinblum was arrested outside his home on February 13th after he tried to evade law enforcement. The court appearance comes just one day after family members and Salton City residents held a vigil in Tania's honor right outside of Feinblum's home. The overwhelming support from the community has carried into the courtroom by Tania's father, who told us that this case goes beyond his daughter's disappearance.
I want to tell everybody thank you for all of the support, all of the love and appreciation, you know, and I'm sorry that anybody had to go through this. I never thought that I would. I hope that we can look at this situation and understand how crazy this world is. And, you know, again, my daughter has touched so many different people in so many different ways. And we just hoping for obviously the best outcome, and that'll be for that gentleman to, you know, stay behind bars for what he did.
For NBC Palm Springs, I'm Tommy Gallegos.
We've got a live look outside for you this evening. Our Agua Caliente casino camera in Rancho Mirage. Another beautiful day here in the Coachella Valley as we check in with Pablo Alsina. A change from last week. It was windy, it was raining. This week looks pretty gorgeous out there.
Yeah, about as perfect as it gets. Definitely much better than what you're seeing in the Northeast. 5 states with over 2 feet of snow. We're in the 80s, but not for long. We're actually going to be in the 90s as early as tomorrow. Humidity very low, 12%. Not expecting rain for at least the next 10 days, if not longer. Temperatures around Yucca Valley is already at 60. Desert Hot Springs at 74. Thousand Palms at 78, so still very nice, gorgeous temperatures today, but the heat up is coming. We'll be around 15 to 20 degrees hotter than normal tomorrow. Dew points at 35, so very comfortable, not muggy at all outside, and not that windy at all. Whitewater might get a little windy come Thursday, and our 3-day comfort air forecast. Look at that. The 90s are back. Yeah, I'm talking about NSYNC, Britney Spears, the Backstreet Boys, 90s all week long. Highs of 90s, hopefully won't get that hot, but yeah, it's going to get hot. I'm Pablo Alsina. I'll be back for my 7-day forecast and let you know just how long that new heat wave is going to last.
Pablo, thank you for that. Happening right now, an open house with the Palm Springs Fire Department, where the community is invited to give feedback on the Fire Station 1 modernization project. Our Caitlin Kelly joins us live tonight from Palm Springs with more on local reaction. Hey, Caitlin.
Hey, Mark. Yeah, that's right. Just to kind of give context surrounding this whole open house, I'm standing out front of Fire Station 1. This building was completed and built in 1957. That means we're coming up on 70 years since this building was built. And it was designed by historic architect Albert Frey. You can see here the distinction of designation of Class 1 historic building. But as I mentioned, built in 1957, back when the overall population of Palm Springs was only 8,000. Now we've got a population of 45,000, in fact, over that. And we still have the same firehouse serving that amount of community members. So, of course, the fire station is now proposing an expansion. So, of course, with an expansion, there comes architectural plans, some conceptual designs, and Fire Chief Alvarado gave an open house today to sort of speak on what these expansions are going to look like. I will say, however, a lot of people that did come to attend this meeting were under the impression that they were going to have an unlimited amount of time to sort of speak and ask questions. That was not the case. There were so many people here that there was really only a 2-minute time limit for people to be able to ask their questions. And several of the people that attended were not so happy about that, one in particular. Take a look.
No, we were lied to. We were told what the format wasn't going to be, and they did exactly that. They talked for 20 minutes, and they provided us 2 minutes to express our concerns. We had taken the time to consolidate all of our questions, to make it as efficient as possible. We identified one person to ask the questions, and they gave the person that represents the entire block 2 minutes to respond. Insulting, we were gaslit, we were lied to.
I spoke to Fire Chief Paul Alvarado after Matt Busquet, who you just saw speaking right there, himself, as well as several other business owners and their advocates, all stood up and left the open house. I spoke with Fire Chief Paul Alvarado to get his feedback overall on how he thinks the evening went and why the change in apparent format. This is what he had to say.
What changed is we wanted to make sure that we had an opportunity for people to make comments, give them time to speak, put their name in, and also capture those comments because we're going to build on that. We're going to have a study session with City Council coming up in March, and then revisit with everyone back here on March 30th. So we want to make sure we capture those comments. But as you see what we're doing right now, we are talking with people. We are sidebarring with people and hearing comments, and people that didn't want to speak in public, they're coming up to us now and talking. So that opportunity never left us. We just kind of changed what we did first. But that opportunity was always here tonight. And I was always going to be here for that.
At the end of the day, both sides have one thing that they can agree on. It's that they support the fire department and they want to see them succeed. As far as how they expand upon this fire department, well, that's still up for debate. Live in Palm Springs, I'm Caitlin Kelly, Mark Olivia, sending it back to you.
Caitlin, thank you for those updates tonight. Coming up next on NBC Palm Springs, beautiful views come with responsibility. How to enjoy our desert wildflowers without harming them. That story's ahead.
Also, the United States men's hockey team met by fans and media in Miami as the gold medalists touched back down on U.S. soil earlier today. We have more coming up in sports with Tim O'Brien.
And we have a quick look at your gold and silver prices to kick off the work week. Stay with us. Those headlines and more coming up in just a few minutes.
Committed to covering our community. You're watching NBC Palm Springs at 6.
Welcome back. Last week's wet weather created blooms of wildflowers across our desert, but it's now attracting some visitors. So as more people head outdoors, a local group is reminding everyone to stick to marked trails and to stay safe. Our Kai Beach has details.
The desert is really showing off for you right now. It's making tiny little belly flowers, we call them, but it is the desert doing its natural processes.
With the recent rains, wildflowers are blooming across our desert landscape, and visitors are traveling from all over to witness this vibrant transformation.
It's absolutely beautiful.
Including Matt from Minnesota.
Right now, in my mind, I'm trying to figure out what each and every single plant is.
While walking among nature can be an exciting experience, it can also be damaging to our environment and even dangerous for hikers who wander off the designated paths.
Out there in the fields, if the plants are waking up, other things are waking up. So there's little mice out there. There are little baby lizards out there that you could be stepping on, but there's also rattlesnakes waking up right now.
Karen Jaffe is with the nonprofit organization Friends of the Desert Mountains, and she says her team is encouraging hikers to stay on marked trails to help protect our delicate ecosystem.
Practice petal etiquette, that's what we call it. Don't go out into the flower fields. I know they're so tempting and alluring, but the best idea is to stay actually right along roads and trails where the ground is disturbed, is where the flowers do best, quite honestly.
As for Matt, he says he's here not only to explore the beauty of our desert, to leave it better than he found it. I'm Kai Beach with NBC Palm Springs.
Happy Monday, I'm Pablo Alsina. Hopefully you had a great weekend because today you definitely had great weather. Look at the Walter Clark Cam live shot. Notice not much wind right now, already nighttime in the Coachella Valley. So the temperature's starting to go down some. But tomorrow when the sun comes up, we're gonna heat up. Temperatures between 88 and 92 degrees for tomorrow. The high pressure system keeping any kind of cold air away from us. How hot was it today? Well, look at this, 6 degrees hotter than normal, usually at 74. Today at 82, actually 8 degrees hotter than normal. And tomorrow will be as high as 15 degrees hotter than normal. The record high, 94, set in 1947. I don't think we're going to set any records this week, but we might come close. Were we the hottest in the Southwest? No, we weren't. Phoenix and Yuma hotter than us, but something tells me we'll take over that #1 spot tomorrow. High temperatures you saw today, 84 in Palm Desert, 82 in Indio, even Banning, pretty toasty for them this time of year at 72 degrees. Cabazon with a high of 75. It's going to get windy in Whitewater on Wednesday, expecting wind gusts of more than 30 miles an hour, almost 40 miles an hour for them on Wednesday. Desert Hot Springs, pretty windy Tuesday and Wednesday as well. Winds between 20 and 29 miles an hour. How cold will it get tonight? Not that cold, just 60 degrees in Palm Springs, 57 in Palm Desert. And by tonight, by midnight, only be 62. So gorgeous night. The moon around half illuminated, so the stars were looking gorgeous. 7-day comfort air forecast. Look at this. The 90s are back. Highs of 90s. And look at Friday. Ooh, mid to high 90s on Friday. I'm Pablo Alcina. Keep it here on your favorite newscast, NBC Palm Springs.
NBC Palm Springs Sports with Tim O'Brien, powered by Agua Caliente Casino.
Oh, well, welcome back. The country's still on a high after winning gold yesterday in men's hockey, shocking the Canadians. A moment you'll remember where you were when it all happened. Now, following nearly 24 hours of celebration, the Americans back home on U.S. soil, and they're back home as gold medalists. Initially, the team was supposed to fly to Newark, but with the snowstorm in the Northeast, the Americans were diverted to Miami, where they'll enjoy some sunshine in celebration for their historic win, the country's first gold medal in men's hockey in 46 years. Captain Austin Matthews and his teammates still on cloud nine.
Honestly, not really. Yeah, it still feels pretty surreal. I mean, I don't think we really realized the magnitude of just everything that's going to happen in the last 24 hours. Just because you're just in it, you're living right in it. And, you know, getting back here, seeing all the support from back home, you know, it's just incredible what this team was able to accomplish, and representing the U.S. Obviously, it's an honor. So we're ecstatic, and we're excited to be back home celebrating.
The team will head to D.C. on Tuesday and join President Trump for the State of the Union address before returning back to their NHL clubs later this week. Now back here at home, the Desert Hot Springs girls basketball team, they're going to continue to write their names into the history books. After starting the season 0-8, the Golden Eagles will now play for the Division IX CIF state title. It'll be a tall task against a very strong Sierra Vista team. The game will be held at either Azusa Pacific or Toyota Arena in Ontario on Saturday. Those location and time still to be determined. And some fun news to share. Weekday mornings from 7 to 9, you can catch the morning drive with yours truly on 102.7 The Fanatic, the Coachella Valley sports leader. Our very own Brett Rosen along for the journey with me each and every morning as well. So hope you can join us. Local and national headlines, hot takes, and a whole lot of fun. And Thursday, a big special guest. You may know the name Kenny Albert, who called the U.S. men and women's hockey matchups for gold. So he's a big NBC voice for the Olympics and the NHL as well. He'll join us Thursday morning. That'll do it in sports. I'm Tim O'Brien.
And now the Agua Caliente Entertainment Report, brought to you by Agua Caliente Casinos.
The Palm Springs Cultural Center is honoring the life and legacy of Catherine O'Hara. They're hosting a special 4-film tribute series celebrating her unforgettable work on screen. It's titled Catherine O'Hara, Simply the Best. The series begins March 4th. That's her birthday, and it continues on select Wednesdays through April at the Cultural Center's historic Camelot Theaters. Each evening opens with curated highlights from Schitt's Creek, followed by a feature film. Doors open at 6 p.m. with the feature film starting at 7. We'll be right back.
Brighter Side of the News is brought to you by Fiesta Kia. Discover the all-new Fiesta Kia located in the I-10 Auto Mall.
A Florida woman is proving age is just a number when it comes to billiards. At 98 years old, Maggie Kennedy is still chalking up her pool cue, and she doesn't just play for fun. She's competitive as well. In fact, she's preparing to fly to Las Vegas for the BCA Nationals tournament. Kennedy became the oldest competitive pool player back in 2021. Look at her go. Incredible.
She can beat me. I'm not good at pool.
Yeah?
Not
She's
good.
got game.
Out of time tonight. Fred Rogan is coming up next.